Yeah, welcome to Rotary. This is the only place where presidents are elected every year and succession is smooth. There are no petitions and there is always room for another president. My name is Kasimu. I'm the incoming president for Rotary Club of Muthaiga for the Rotary year 2019-2020. I describe myself as a purpose-driven individual. My purpose is to inspire the possibilities in others. An HR practitioner, a father, a husband. I need to start with the husband before I am in problems. But most importantly, I'm a human being and I enjoy interacting and working with others. 14 years before I joined Rotary, I went to a Rotary club and I walked in and there was this air of tension where people came in ties, people were in kind of cliques, some sat in certain areas, others were kind of looking lost. I had somebody who was chaperoning me around, but I got a sense like I don't belong here. And it felt like it was a painful kind of occasion, and I never went back. And 14 years later, I was asked to speak at a Rotary event where we had about 7 to 9 clubs at the Goan Club. And after I spoke, and I was talking about leadership journeys, I was talking about service, I was talking about connecting and living a purposeful life. One Rotarian, Jay Mane, came and said, "Paul, you are a Rotarian." And I looked at him and I said, no, you got it wrong, I'm not. He said, no, everything you've done is what Rotary does. And I said, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. And woe unto me, within a week, I found myself at Rotary Club of Muthaiga. Rotarian Robert Folsa introduced me formally. After a couple of meetings, I felt I actually belonged. And I loved the energy in the room, the spirit of everybody was there. And in a way I said, I found my home in Rotary. So I became a Rotarian. That was 6 years before I became a president, which is where I am now. The journey is different and varied. I served for 1 year, after which I was elected the secretary of the club. And one of the things I committed to myself was when I say yes to a position is just to give my all. And I remember for the entire year, every week, apart from 1 or 2 weeks that I wasn't around either in the country or I was out of the country or in an assignment, I would issue my minutes within 1 hour of the meeting. So by 9 p.m. every Monday, minutes would go out. And it became a tradition and I found it was easy. And it was actually a balance between, I had a full day, but I committed to an hour or 2 of making sure that I attend to Rotary matters. So I think that 1 year of being in Rotary as a secretary of the club exposed me to quite a number of facets of Rotary. Within another 2 years, I became a president-elect, and here I am now as an incoming president. I think for starters, we have a fantastic, diverse, self-driven members at Muthaiga. Most importantly, we also stand on the shoulders of giants, in the sense that the induction process of Muthaiga is one that is of the best. In addition to the introduction that comes in, we also have fireside chats that we put our members through. We identify mentors in addition to the sponsors who work with every person. We also have buddy groups that members come in and they have social events, they run projects, they visit each other, celebrate life journeys. I think above everything else is the tradition of Muthaiga and the quality of projects that they do, the international partnership, the diversity of those projects, and then the governance around them. So for me, that is what makes Muthaiga Muthaiga. But then there's the fun. So we still are the hottest and coolest club in town, humbly so. I think the project is one of those achievements that we've achieved where if you look at the number of projects from Turkana to Nyanza, Nairobi, Central, I think that has been an amazing track record of Muthaiga. Number two is just the fun we have had. And Muthaiga is known for several things, not least fantastic weekly sessions. Occasionally we will celebrate, every month we'll celebrate each other in terms of birthdays. We'll look for live events and we'll celebrate. So there will be happy dollar for a grandchild or an engagement or a child who has done stuff. I think there is a bit about the quality of speakers who come in and speak to specific, very targeted subjects. Last week, for instance, we had one on first aid. There are others that come in and talk about mental health. There are others that talk about projects. So just a variety of weekly sessions. I think that's the other second one. And the third one is what I would call partnering and connecting with the world. If you look at Muthaiga, we have two PDGs, PDG Gita, PDG Kaushek. We have a DGE in Patrick Obath. And beyond that, people have served in several positions at district level, at zonal level, and at national level. So I think for me, that just says Muthaiga leadership goes beyond Muthaiga, and that is a uniqueness that you don't find in many places. I think that one of the biggest challenges we've seen is one of integrating the old with the new in terms of membership and the time it takes. So there is always that tension that comes in the form of, we have a tradition for Muthaiga, this is who we are. And then you bring in fairly different people coming in with all manner of ideas and mannerisms. And I think going through what you'd call the 5 stages of a team, because we are constantly forming. So you bring a new member, you go the forming, then you go to the storming, you go to norming, then you perform, and ultimately you adjourn because people will come and go. I think managing that has been one of the toughest pieces, and where you embrace diversity in its true form. And there are moments where some people have said, sorry, you have grown too much. I don't feel a sense of belonging, I'm out of here. I think that would be, for me, the biggest challenge. The second piece is about member participation in projects. Whereas we have many projects running, and many means just managed projects, we also seem to have a kind of a similar profile of member who is doing projects, is doing korogas, and the others will just come in for the weekly meetings. And I think for me that is another balance that we could say, how do we get people to be involved in projects in the true sense of it? The other piece maybe that I would say is also benchmarking with others, if I could say that as a challenge. Being successful can also be a problem in itself, and I think it's also having the humility to learn from others. I would say that is one of the other challenges that we would want to have. Now, what have we done about especially integrating membership? We are about 83, and we've just looked at a criteria of attendance and contributions, and we released 5 of our members, but today we're inducting 4 more. And I think the buddy group system is one that has stood over everything else. And what this means is that we've paired people who are different thinking, different professions, different service, gender differently. And they come together and they run weekly meetings. So the admin part of it is done by buddy groups. They will run the birthday events. They will also do korogas together. Of course, some are more vibrant than others, but I think that has also helped build comradeship and bonding within the teams. And I think we're also now encouraging members to join a project. And as a requirement, any new member coming in will need to do a project visit, because I think that is the essence of Rotary.